Hey, how are you guys doing? So I wanted to check in with you guys and see how you're feeling because we've just come through a pretty significant amount of energy, new energy coming in. We're not quite through it, so you might be feeling some residuals of it today, but we definitely received some major upgrades, some light codes into our bodies, some changes on the planet, the structural changes of the planet. So it's been lots. And right now we have a radiation storm that's happening. So you might be feeling that. I know for me, I'm really noticing when the radiation is coming in, but I have been, and probably a lot of you guys too, especially if you're empaths or sensitives, especially, like when they started bringing in the 5G, when they started bringing in all of that, we had to go through some major acclimating to that because that frequency is high, right? It's very powerful radiation, which affects us, which affects our nervous systems, right? I know for me, and maybe let me know in the comments if you're like this, but if I'm on a computer for just a little while, my face gets hot, my face gets red. So we know that, there's a field, an energy that comes from electronic devices. And a lot of people will tell me on their cell phones that, they feel it they can get headaches when they're talking on their cell phones. So you're feeling it, your body's feeling it because it's real. This is, when you go into a hospital and you get an x-ray done, there's a reason why the technicians stand behind the glass wall, right? They're not in the room with you when you're getting the x-rays done. So keep that in mind. So this radiation that's coming off of the sun, although, the sun is on our side, and it's, helping us to heal and helping us to transcend, and, it's helping us with all of that. But that radiation, remember, when it's coming through, it's having a cause and effect with us all. So pay attention to how you're feeling with this right now, because you will need to do extra things to support your human body. And I know it's such a juggle sometimes. I know this, that, because I feel like these energies make us go like this, like there's that dip. So like when you're down in the low, you're in the 3D stuff, and you're really aware of the pain or the discomfort or whatever challenges you're going through, like whatever's kind of lower frequency experiences are happening in your life. You have this like huge awareness of it, and your mind is like fixed on it. And then we go up into an up, and then you start to have this like lightness of your being and this like expansion of your energy, and you can feel your cells beginning to change because they're bringing in more light. But then boom, then you hit another low, and then that can be a lot of emotions that are coming up, or you're easily triggered. Somebody says something to you and it triggers an emotion or a reaction from you. And so they're saying to me right now, we're going to be experiencing a lot of highs and a lot of lows. And so do your best to ride them as much as you can. Do your best to be gentle and kind to yourself, because part of that is, I'm experiencing the same thing, because when I get the migraines, when I get the pain, the dizziness comes in, all my cranial nerves, I can feel them inflamed, right? Because I'm still working on healing that stuff. But when that comes in, I can easily go into, oh, nothing is working. Nothing that I'm doing is working. I've been doing all this healing for no reason. I'm not getting better, right? Like it can be, your mind can instantly grab onto things, and it can take a deep dive with it, right? And here's the thing I have the awareness, I have the understanding of how my thoughts create, and how, I have it. I know it, I don't have to be taught on that. I have that knowing. So do you. We all come into, these human bodies with that knowing because we are souls and we understand how energy works because we're pure energy. We get into these containers and that's when, everything starts to distort itself for us. But it's hard because our minds can grab onto things and then take the frequency that they're coming in with and make that the stronger frequency. So when we're in the low, that stronger frequency will keep us down longer, right? And so we have to do things to be able to kind of shake and shift out of this stuff. Now, I'm not suggesting that you don't feel the stuff. I'm not suggesting that you don't feel the emotions, because there's great healing that comes through when we feel the emotions, whether it's anger or sadness or regret, or there's great awareness that will come through that. It's just like, when you've had a big argument or you've had a big traumatic event happen, and you have that massive cry, the ugly cry, the snot coming out of your nose and everything. After that happens, after that, you allow that process to happen, you always feel better, right? You always feel better because that is allowing everything to process physically, mentally, emotionally, and not just in your mind, right? Like, that's the biggest thing, is we have to override that mind through this sometimes, because that mind will get stuck on things. And so we have to do things that will allow us to release that control that the mind will have over us and allow there to be more flow, right? So however that means for you, whatever you can do to make that happen, make that a priority for yourself right now. So it really can be, if you meditate, then that's amazing, because meditation is a great way to create expansion of energy, right? If you go in with the intention of, okay, so I'm going to meditate on expanding my energy. So that's going to be my total focus. Just allowing energy to flow, allowing God to send his light through, allowing all of my cells to receive the healing with that expansion, and then stepping outside of the physical vessel and allowing, the energy in the quantum field to come through and heal. That's a great way to practice meditation. You won't get that kind of result if you are listening to a guided meditation, though. That's the thing about it, is people often will go in and they'll listen to, a voice guiding you and showing you things. And you're still involving the mind when you do that. They're still thinking, you're still seeing colors and symbols and pictures. So it doesn't work in the same way. Now, if you find it difficult to sit in meditation and do that expansion, then you can do the same thing in mindfulness. And so mindfulness can be petting your pet, or playing with your animals, or playing with your children, or going for a walk in nature. Or it can literally be, when it's cold, it's snowing here again in Ontario, cold. It could be sitting on your couch in the sun and just allowing your mind to just kind of be light and clear and not think about anything and not process anything and not have any reactions to anything. And, it's funny, I used to do this exercise in my office with clients and classes when we would do it. So just try this to see how busy your mind is, how in control your mind is. But what I would have everybody do is we would pick a focus on the wall, so you've got 4 walls in your room. So we would pick a focus on the wall, pick an object, whether it's a corner of a wall or a picture on the wall, or what, just pick something on the wall and allow yourself to just observe the object on the wall. So you're going to go in with the intention of expanding your energy. It's exercise to expand your energy, to expand your consciousness, to open up your awareness, to allow energy to flow. That's the intention. So you pick the object, you look at the object, and here's the thing, is you look at the object without labeling it, without giving it a name, without saying, oh, I really like that, or I don't like that, or you allow yourself just to observe it. And in the moment that your observation turns into mind chatter again, right? You start saying something or thinking something about it, then you go to the next wall. And then you do the same thing on the next wall. You find another object and you allow yourself just to observe it. And you continue to do this through the 4 walls. And in the beginning, you're probably going to find that when you do it for the first wall, you're very quickly thinking about something and then you're like on to the next wall. It will happen for a little bit. But once your mind starts to understand that this is an exercise in releasing, and we can, let some of that energy go. And when we allow that energy to go, we open up energy for healing. When your mind starts to get that, because your mind is not the ruler, remember this, right? It likes to think it is, but it's not the ruler. But we can't rule it with an iron fist. We have to rule it with openness. That's how it will respond. Because if we become demanding on the mind and if we become controlling on the mind, it reacts with the same frequency, right? So we have to work with the mind through openness, right? Through free flowing, through allowing. That's the only way that this will work. And it's the same thing with this energy that's coming in, with the radiation that's coming in. Be mindful of the symptoms you're feeling. Don't get stuck on them. I know it's hard, guys, because I'm doing it myself. Trust me, I'm using the frequencies. I'm using the right frequencies. I'm using the scalar frequencies. I'm using my AO scanner. I'm doing the things because if I don't, I will get stuck in how shitty my head is feeling, right? And how it's stopping me from being able to do what I want to do and how it's making me feel, right? You see that loop, right? We have to get out of the loop. So just do something different today. Try that mindfulness meditation exercise, the 4-wall exercise. And let me know in the comments how you do with it. You might not do great the first time, but that's okay. But keep on doing it, right? They call it the practice of meditation for a reason. It's something that we need to play with. We need to have some fun with, right? And we're going to need it because this roller coaster that we're on is going to continue, right? This planet's ascending, we're changing, we're supposed to be growing. And when there's resistance on the growth part, that's when it's going to get difficult. So I want you guys to know you're not in this alone. I'm right here in the trenches with you. I'm going through it too, but we're going through it together and there's a purpose behind it. Sending you guys all huge blessings.